What's going on, guys? Anthony here with HD Toys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to turn this cheap figure to an expensive looking figure. Alright, and to get those figures looking the way they do, there's not very much needed. You basically just need some of this RIT DyeMore synthetic dye. This one is graphite, which is basically black. The more you use of this, the darker it will come out to be. You use half a bottle for every 3 gallons of water. I'm using 6 gallons of water, so basically I'm going to be using the whole bottle. So the figures we are going to be dyeing today is going to be the Lanard 12-inch alien figure. Now this is on sale right now for like $5. Super cheap, so it's a good little tester to test it on. So it comes with the tail already apart. That's great. I have a toothpick here to make sure this mouth stays out so the dye can go inside. I got a couple of their brand new $10 drone figures. I have their hands off, their feet off. Real simple. Just make sure they're kind of bent. So the dye can get into all the little crevices. You're going to want to like pull these out periodically and like move them around to make sure the dye gets in to every little crevice, but not too bad. Other than that, we just got to boil up some water and we're going to get started. Now, you don't want to pour it into the boiling water itself. Normally, I would just use a stainless steel pan that I'm not going to use for cooking anymore. But because this figure is so big, I had to get a little bucket right here that the Alien Queen did fit in. So I'm going to boil some water, let it come down to temperature just a little bit, pour it into here with the dye, mix it up, then pour the figure into that. And to maintain the heat, I'm going to constantly keep pouring in boiling water so it stays at a certain temperature. Basically, you want it between 200 degrees and just below boiling. You don't want to pour these figures into boiling waters because they will melt, they will bend, and it's just something you don't want to mess with. So keep that in mind. This instruction tells you to boil the water, but that is for like t-shirts and whatnot. So don't boil the water. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I have the boiling water. I let it sit for a little bit. It's still kind of warm, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the dye. I'm just going to go ahead and start off with half. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab something to stir this with. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the figure in. You basically just want to keep moving them around. As you can already see, it's well, maybe not. It's pretty foggy, but a little bit right here is already the dye is already starting to attach to the figure. Just keep them moving around. Pick them up every now and then. Open up some joints, move some joints. The white figures seem to be turning black a lot quicker, so that's an obvious. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this for like the next 30 minutes to an hour. I'll let you know exactly how long it takes, and then we'll go ahead and pull them out. Alright guys, so as you can see here, this previously white drone alien came out very black. Pretty much the exact color I wanted it. It's not really coming off on camera. It's almost coming off kind of purplish on camera. But trust me, in person, this is a very deep black. Almost the same color as those old school Kenner toys that they used to have back in the day. Yeah, for some reason, this white paint that was on his dome to give it that weird look didn't turn black. But I'm actually kind of happy about that because now it almost gives it a translucent look. Like it is a translucent dome without being translucent. Now there are some areas where the harder plastics didn't seem to adhere very well, like right there is one little bit in the joints. But overall, it stuck. But speaking of the harder plastics that didn't adhere, the Queen didn't come out so great. So I was looking up on the internet about what was going on, and it does seem like these harder plastics do require you to boil the water for the dye to adhere to it. But there comes a drawback to that, and I was telling you don't boil the water. Just kind of bring it to like slightly below or slightly above. It will warp and, you know, crack the plastic. So what another person did, he actually did the same thing. The rubber material, or like not rubber, but like the softer plastics did take to the dye very well. So like the front of the mouth, the front of the inner jaw, the arms, the inner arms, the feet did take to the black. The tail did not, but the peg did. See here, the back dorsal fins took to the paint. So what the guy did is that he just went ahead and took some flat black paint. He masked off the areas that did take to the dye and then just painted the rest of the figure with spray paint. So that's what I'm going to do right here. You know, this is a learning process for me too, as with you guys. So let me make the mistakes first and then you guys can follow suit. So let's go ahead and start masking the black parts up and then paint this figure. All right, and as you can see, it already looks 100 times better. I know some of the people are saying, well, why don't you just spray paint it from the get-go? I don't know how long, which one is gonna last. I know the paint can tend to chip or crack or whatever. The dye actually goes into the plastic and dyes it from the inside out. So there's that. But I also have heard some people say that there's eventually fades over time. Who knows? Only time's gonna tell. So that is the main reason why I decided to tape off the parts that were dyed to see which one lasts longer, which one holds up better. Obviously, I'm gonna add a matte clear on top of everything once I'm done. But either way, this is how it looks with the Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Paint and Primer Flat Black. So yeah, there you go. I'm gonna let this dry, probably add another coat to cover all like the spots that I can still see purple on. But other than that, let's go ahead and finish this up, bring it inside, and I'll do some silver dry brushing. All right, guys, and as you can see here, this thing came out beautiful. So the one thing about spray painting is that this took forever to dry, and I don't know if you can kind of hear it, it's still kind of tacky in some spots, and it's been roughly about 6 hours since I finished spraying this thing. So that is a little bit of a downside. For me to dye a figure took like 30 minutes. I think like an hour max if I really wanted it like a deep black. But for this spray paint, it took almost 6 hours for it to finally dry. But overall, it came out super nice. So to go ahead and finish up all the details, I'm going to go ahead and do some silver brushing, almost some weathering, to make it really stand out. Now obviously you can end it right here and it'll still look really, really good, obviously, as you can see, but we want to make this thing pop, right? So hopefully this thing doesn't tip over while I'm trying to film. So what I have here is some acrylic. What is this? Just basically some acrylic silver, really metallic. So hopefully that comes out nice. Give it a good shake. Pour it right here onto my plate. Then, as the technique suggests, just go ahead and take a dry brush, go into the silver, and then just wipe off the excess. And then, what do you say we go ahead, get a picture for reference here real quick, and start with the neck. And if it looks like it's too much, just go ahead and wipe off some more. Napkin if you have to. Wipe it off and take off what's too much. And as you can see there, that silver really makes it pop. So let's see here. Go ahead and put some on the tail. Yes. Do you smell it? What do you know? Just take wipe off the excess, sorry. There we go. All right, and here we go. As you can see, I took it off camera for a second and tried to finish it up because it was just getting way too hard to do it in front of the camera while trying not to tip this thing over. And in my opinion, this silver wash truly brings out all the details of the Alien Queen. I'm not sure if that's coming up on camera, but I think it looks phenomenal. I mean, for a $5 toy, I didn't paint the bottom of the tail, so you can kind of get a, well, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but this is what it looked like, black, no silver wash, and then obviously, well, there's a little bit too much silver wash. I'll probably take some more, wipe it down, but overall, like the detailing on her neck really pops. The detailing up here on her, I guess, I don't know, skull really pops now. Not bad at all. Super easy. I went ahead and then did a little bit darker of a paint on the teeth. Same paint, just to make it pop more. Yeah, looks real good. Feature still works. This thing looks phenomenal. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time to cure, and then I'm going to go ahead and spray a matte clear over it to make sure all the silver and the black stays. But overall, that is how you would dye this Purple Queen. So not sure if I want to do the silver brushing to these figures or just leave them as is. But now you have a set of black alien drones with the alien queen. Yeah, guys, real simple. Really easy, just a lot of time if you do it. Paint. The dye obviously is not going to take to the harder plastic on the body and the tail, so that had to be painted no matter what. But these figures here took to the dye really, really nicely. These came out phenomenal. Yeah. Alright guys, well that is basically it. I'm sorry if this is kind of like all over the place. This took me a couple days to do, mainly because I couldn't figure out why this wasn't taking to the dye, and then painting it itself took another half a day in total. So this was about a 2-day project. Probably could have been shorter if I just decided to like spray paint it all together, but you live and you learn. So you guys choose how you're going to do it. If you're just going to paint it all together one time, or then dye and then paint, let me know. So, until next time, guys. Later.